Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. We're here to talk about top of the table Spurs, of course, the imposters, as they call them, but also we'll talk about Manchester United and Arsenal Champions League games tomorrow. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're watching this on the replay, the like button is very important. But Spurs, top of the league, of course. Big up everybody that is joining us. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and we're in for a great show. And you can tell from the layout, from the overlay, you can tell from the setup that I'm not here by myself. I have someone, and I did not put his picture on the thumbnail. So big up, of course. You know him from the Tottenham away. It's of course, here to talk about his team after winning 2-0. I think it's the first clean sheet, isn't it?
No, it's actually our fourth clean sheet.
All right. So why the commentators kept saying it's the first clean sheet?
So we had a clean sheet against Man United. We had a clean sheet against Bournemouth. We had a clean sheet against who else do we have? Maybe it's our third.
Maybe they were mistaken. But yeah, big up, Will. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, guys. Everybody in the chat, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. We're going to be here talking about Spurs for a bit, or maybe for the whole show. We don't know. But we'll talk about Arsenal. We'll talk about the rest. Thank you, everybody that joined us. Everybody here are a moderator, and everybody is a member, of course. Well, talk to me. Top of the table. They said you're not good enough to be there, but you are there. It's as simple as that. It's why are you an imposter then? Why are you there? Why? You don't belong there.
Well, apparently we don't belong there, even though I think for the better part of a decade, we've been, I think, very consistent top four teams. There's been several times where I don't necessarily think that we've, other than that season that we finished second behind Chelsea, that we've ever really challenged for a title. But even in that city, we were like, what, 7-8 points behind Chelsea at the end of the year. So I don't know, man. I don't know why this is a shock to people that we're doing well. I don't think that, like I said multiple times, I don't think that our rebuild has had as much to do as Arsenal's, right? Arsenal had probably 4 or 5 years of stagnation under Wenger. And then they finished, you had the Emery days, you had, the first 3 years of Arteta. They had a bigger climb than we did, unfortunately. And you've got Big Ange in here, who's just been absolutely amazing. I don't think it's a fluke that the people have rated him and given him the manager of the month, 2 months in a row. Like I'm loving it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Mo. I am absolutely loving the amount of salty tears.
Okay, guys, we have like over 25. We just start in second minute, and I want to ask the simple question: do you deserve it? Do you think you belong there?
Yeah, look, I
that's
don't.
The question. Listen,
100%.
That's the question. Every stream I go to, like the football terrace. I'm sure you watch the football terrace. Like they don't belong there. They're gonna fall. They don't belong there. They are gonna do this. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a clip. I've got a clip of Assam saying that we're going to lose at home to Fulham today. So that one will be going up on my channel at some point this week. No, yeah, I mean, look, I'm enjoying the salty tears from all of the other people in the top four who are just absolutely crying. Look, City fans are giving us credit. Even Daps over there from Never Foul, like he says, we're not going to win the league or we're not going to necessarily challenge, but he says they're playing good football, they're doing well. I think that's all we want as Spurs fans is to just people to acknowledge the current type of football that we're playing. But for some reason, for some particular rivals, they just can't handle it, man. They're not able to handle the fact that we are going to cause them problems this season.
You really think you're going to cause problems? What define problems?
Yeah, so take points off of people that thought that they were going to stroll through the league, right?
That's it? That's your aspiration?
Yeah, I got us finishing third right now. Now, can we do better than that? Like the way that we're playing now? Look, we've got the 10 easiest games so far in the season, right? There's no denying that. That's what the data says. We've had the 10. We'll have the easiest first 10 fixtures of any team in the league. But that's why we're but you have Arsenal, who's got the second easiest 10 fixtures in the start of the season, and they're up there too, towards the top of the table. Man City is Man City. They're up there towards the top of the table. And we're right where we should be.
If you have the easiest start of the season, how do you have Crystal Palace, Wolves, and Chelsea at home, and Aston Villa, does that mean your second half of the season is going to be just hell then?
Yeah, so if you look at the month of December,
But you still
December's
have West
hell.
Ham at home. You're playing Forest. You still have Everton. So how did you have the easy start if you still have to play West Ham at home, Forest away, Everton at home, and you play Newcastle at home?
Yeah, so just
What is this
December's
data based on then?
so it's based on power rankings. So how well the team performs, usually statistically, yada yada yada. But I think for us, I mean, we have had fairly easy fixtures, I think. But we've got a whole set of easy fixtures. Bar.
But that's what I mean. Like people in the chat, like you still have Everton, Forest,
Still got
Crystal
easier fixtures.
Palace,
Yeah.
Wolves. These are easy teams.
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I wrong here? These are
No,
easy.
exactly.
If Man City play all these teams, you'd expect them to win. If
So what
Liverpool
they do is they separate it into chunks of the season, right? So first 10 games, and then if you look at our next 10 games after the first 10 games, it gets a lot harder, right? The month of December for Tottenham, we have to play Arsenal or Villa, we have to play Brighton, we have to play Newcastle, we have to play City, we have to play all of those teams which are higher in the difficulty charts than the teams that we played in the first half. There's a higher number of them. And if you go look at our run out, the last month, we have to play like Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, I think City, back to back, all the way up to the last 2 games of the season or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's 4 hard games, 4 red
play
games.
Newcastle, Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah,
back to back.
Right, all and then 2 games at the end of the season. So that's a hard run, right there at the end in the business end of the season, right? So we have had an easy start, but having an easy start means what? You have a hard finish, right?
Yeah.
So I would rather have the hard start and the easy finish if I thought that my team was going to be a contender than have the easy start and the hard finish. So,
let's talk about Like I get you. Let's talk about the game itself because I want to get the analysis of the game. Like this channel, I always try to analyze the game. Without Bissouma, looked all right. I thought Højbjerg looked all right. Didn't look as bad as people thought.
Steady Eddie, like he always is.
Like I thought he wasn't Bissouma, but he was all right. He's doing the job. Not. So I'm like, so that's one out of the window. How did you assess the subs, especially? How did you assess your game? How did you assess Fulham? Fulham still tried to play the football on the ground. They made a couple of mistakes, but you still were in control of the game as most of your games, or no? Because this was below, by the way, this was below your average ball position, by the way, way below this game. So that's the Bissouma effect then, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Bissouma usually fills out the full 90 minutes. He rarely gets subbed off. Sometimes he has brought Højbjerg on in certain instances. But I take this one as like a possession or a statistical basis game. This has been along the lines of our Luton Town and Sheffield United type of a performance for me, even though the scoreline was 2-0. Not that scoreline flattered us in any way, but for me, we came out the first half. We really were playing our game. Fulham were set back really deep, probably the lowest block that we've had to face this entire season. And, there wasn't any pressure on our back line. We didn't really need to play out of the back because they weren't pressing us at all. We were able to still create chances. We had multiple chances. I mean, Richarlison was missing them from front.
How is this guy play football? Are you not convinced or no?
I'm 100%.
You remember
convinced.
you were like a little bit, no more, it will come good. I'm like, how did he miss that chance?
I haven't been a Richarlison fan since we signed him.
This guy is, I know he assisted the goal, but his first touch is, how is people still defending Richarlison? Because he's just Brazilian. He's fake. It's a fake passport, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, he should have scored that goal. Like,
100%.
I'm sorry.
Especially the one in the first half.
If you are a striker and the ball is set up from Kulusevski like this, it has to be the back.
Yeah, right at the top of the D with really no pressure whatsoever, and he just pulls it wide. Had the keeper beat. I mean, the keeper was already down. Lennon was already down on one knee before the ball even came into the 6-yard box. I mean, there was no reason to not finish that chance right there. Something buries that, 9 out of 10 times. Look, the only thing that I can say about Richarlison is that in the build-up, in transition, and defensively, he does a job over there on the left. But regardless of how much of a job he does off the ball and maybe even helping in the build-up, he completely destroys that in the final third.
Yeah,
Um,
the guy,
and it's just
the guy.
hopeless.
For me, even though I don't rate Brennan Johnson, I still think he's better than Richarlison without a shadow of a
Yeah,
doubt.
he's just
In
come back
my,
from injury. You know, he got 20 minutes today, so hopefully we'll start seeing more of him. But yeah, Richarlison's only playing there right now because we had 3 injuries at winger before this game. Right now Brendan Johnson's back fit. Perisic and
yeah,
Solomon are both out until
they're both out
February,
until the end of the
March. Yeah.
season. I think. Yeah, March or April or something like that. Like, let me ask you the question: is that people's argument is that you don't have the depth if someone gets injured. Now we saw today you didn't play with Basuma, who is going to go to the African Cup of Nations. You're not going to have Pepe Sarr, which was great. How did you see your team today without the Basuma? And imagine if Sarr is not there and it has to be Ole Skip. We're not sure if Bentancur, how is he going to come back? How did you assess? How do you think is going to happen with that? Especially people are saying there's 2 Man United games or 1 Man United game you're going to miss.
Yeah, the Old Trafford game, I think.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it just depends on who we're playing, right? Like in this case, like I don't think Basuma was a big miss today, right? I think Højbjerg, being the steady Eddie kind of guy that he is able to handle Fulham, right? Because he's not being pressed, right? The thing that Basuma really excels at is his press resistance. So when you're not really being pressed, you don't really need that press resistance. And Højbjerg actually has probably a better long ball than Basuma does when it comes to long range passing or passes into the final third. So maybe against low box, Højbjerg might even be a little bit of a different angle that we can go to. And if you notice when Højbjerg's come on the pitch, it's been in those types of games where we're facing low blocks. So like a James Maddison one would hurt us. The Papa Matasar one. So Bentancur is back into full training now. He should be starting to be worked into the squad. Postecoglou's in this press conferences earlier this week said that December is kind of the time frame that they're looking at to get him back to full match fitness. And so, you know, that's about the same time that, you know, about a month before people start going away to the thing. So losing Papa Matasar, I don't think will be that big of a problem for us. And then even Basuma, you know, if Bentancur has the skill set that he can play in that Basuma role for 1 or 2 games if he has to. You know, he did it before under Antonio Conte. So is it going to be the best possible scenario? No, but I think we'll be fine. The only one that really worries for me, like Giovanni Lo Celso made an appearance today. I mean, he's just not.
I didn't watch that part of the game.
Yeah, he's not James Maddison. Like he's just a steady Eddie as well. He's kind of a slower paced type of a 8, really. He's not a 10 at all, I don't think. You know, when he plays an 8 for Argentina, and that's really the only good performances that we've seen out of him over the last couple of years. I mean, there's a couple of performances in Spain that you could say were pretty good, but when he was on loan. But no, I mean, it is definitely a drop down. Is it going to be as bad? No, I don't think it will be. Lo Celso seems to be enjoying the vibe, and he wants to stick around. Like there was some, you know, links of him moving away this summer or even possibly in January, and he said, "No, I'm going to stay and fight more for my place at the club." So that's good, right? A player who wasn't happy at the team is now wanting to stick around.
Yeah, because they're winning. That's a.
Even before it was just these comments were coming out from him early in the season. You know, from game week 1, game week 2, game week 3.
He also wasn't in Sevilla, and Sevilla weren't great last year.
Or Villarreal, I think.
Was Villarreal or Sevilla?
I think it was Villarreal.
Yeah, but yeah,
he was playing for Emery.
So yeah, it was Villarreal. Guys, there's over 50 of you here. Can we get to 50 likes? It helps the channel massively. Super chats are appreciated. Questions are appreciated. Of course, we're gonna continue this. Like, listen, I'm gonna say like this. I'm gonna say it. I am seeing the Arsenal of last year in the Spurs. Why are people not assuming that it can happen? I'm not saying you're gonna win the league because I don't think you're equipped. By the way, especially with that run at the end, the 4 or 5 games that you're gonna face. I think Manchester City will go on a run when they like win 10, 12 games.
100%.
But I think you can be someone who gets 80 points, 75 points plus. Why not? It's this notion that, yeah, this player is going to go away to the AFCON, to the Asian Cup of Nations, to whatever thing. And I'm like, Yeah, but also there is January. Like there is time to get another striker. Brennan Johnson will be back, and if Ange can get something out of Emerson Royale, he can get something out of anybody else.
Yeah, or even Papamata Sarr, right? Papamata Sarr
Papara
was not
is great, bro.
Yeah, but he wasn't a player that like we saw that he was a decent player last year under Antonio Conte, but nobody thought that we were going to get the performances that we're getting now. Like, I mean, I don't know if you saw his defensive clearance that he made coming from running in behind and just got in between him and the player and headed the ball out. Look, and it's funny because people are talking about the amount of it's just so funny how week after week, people like to talk about total numbers of statistics, and we now have the second best defense in the league, right, Mo? We've only conceded 8, only 6 from
Really?
non-penalty. Yeah, 4 clean sheets. As far as goals conceded is concerned, Arsenal's conceded the same amount, but we've conceded less. We have less non-penalty conceding than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about. The numbers, when you go by totals, they change every week. You got to look at underlying numbers. That's what I like to do. But it's just funny. I always love twisting people's.
So where is this project going? Where is this going?
Look, I think it's just at the beginning, man. I really do. I think that this is the rough and tumble start of a Postecoglou team. I think that it's going to continue to get better. The key now is going in and actually making a squad, right? Because right now we really have not even a full 11. We have maybe 9 players that you can literally probably count on to actually produce week in and week out. And we need to make that 9 15. So we're going to have to go into the transfer windows. And I'm not saying we have to go buy, world-class rock stars, but we definitely have to start getting people who can actually contribute to the goal tally, the assist tally, the defensive tallies, all of those things. For sure.
Yeah, Madeline here is asking a question, is saying, thank you, Madeline, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. So our Spurs better than Arsenal
this season? Absolutely.
Is that something safe to say?
100%. This season, absolutely.
Is that because Martin here is saying the table doesn't lie? Like, listen, is it because of the table? Well, Man United are ahead of Chelsea at the table, but they're not better. Is that only because of the table? That's your answer?
No. So for me, I don't look at just the table. I look at multiple things. The performances. Like you can't say that if you watched all 9 games of Tottenham and all 9 games of Arsenal, I don't think anybody could honestly say with chest that Arsenal has been performing better than Tottenham so far this season in their actual games. Then even that so that's the eye test. Then when you go with the underlying numbers and you look at the chances that we've created
That's again.
Yeah, all of that stuff. I'm not talking about totals. I'm talking about the underlying metrics that actually give context and show you what a team's doing on the pitch. We're up there with Brighton, Manchester City as some of the highest creating teams out there. Again, 15 shots again today on target, or total, and then another 6, 7 on target. We probably could have won that game. We probably could have won that game 3 or 4-0. They probably could have gotten a goal or two if they had clinical people. But people keep saying this. I want to know how many times people are going to say a better team would have finished their lunch, and yet no better team has finished their lunch.
Against you.
Against us, yeah.
So one of the things that I noticed today, I'm going to leave the super chat up because I'm going to talk about now a little bit of a different way of looking at it. I was thinking everybody today, and I'm Hussam especially, because I was watching Hussam's stream, to be honest, while watching the game. And Hussam kept saying, it's the 2 mistakes from this guy. It's the 2 mistakes from this guy. It's the 2 mistakes. But Spurs made mistakes against Arsenal. Right? Big up Tottenham away, of course, in the chat. Guys, give them a subscription, of course. Big up, I don't know who's running that.
Stell, most likely, yeah.
Yeah. Big up. Thank you so much.
From that account.
Yeah. So the long story short is that they made mistakes. You finished it. 2-0 up. Done. You made mistakes. Horrible ones against Arsenal. Literally, your doggy gave Nketiah the ball.
Has played him in perfect assist.
His pocket was picked in his 18. They didn't finish it. I'm here praising Spurs. When the mistake happened, you finished it. You won the game. Arsenal had mistakes happened against them from Spurs, and they didn't finish. And at the end, the game ended 2-2. What does that tell us then? Because why are people saying you only scored from 2 mistakes? Well, other teams as well didn't score from the mistakes that happened from Spurs. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, it tells you that Vicario right now has the highest save percentage in the league. I don't know if you saw the 2 saves that he had today.
I did.
Yeah,
One,
I mean,
the corner kick was. I wasn't a bit. By the way, Vicario was linked to Inter. He was coming to Inter, and we kind of like said it's too expensive. We don't want him. I didn't like him because I don't think he was that good. When he was at Empoli, he was all right. He was just a good goalkeeper, you know. But again, Onana was fantastic at Inter, and look at him now, freaking trash. I wouldn't take him in our B team at Inter. And Vicario, that save from the corner kick from Palinia, the stretch, the reading of the play, took the steps, and the other one that he saved, I think, from
I think Watson was in on a one-on-one.
Yeah, and he saved it. And I'm like, well,
positioning was
perfect. I'm gonna
perfect.
raise my hand and said, yeah, you're one of the guys that Ange as well is giving you energy for something. He's like, there is this. You remember the what is it called? The movie, the Jordan movie. It's the thing, the drink. It's ridiculous because Emerson Royal played left back and looked all right.
I don't know about that. He gave the ball away several times.
He looked all right. He was passing the ball. He was moving. Yes, he made them because he doesn't play. You're expecting the mistake. Maddison makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But he looked all right. That's Emerson Royal that people said shouldn't be playing football. Vicario, absolutely like someone like, where is this coming from? I don't know. But yeah, Vicario today, he kind of saved you a little bit because Fulham scores one of these. They're back in the game. You're under pressure.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been saving us every week. It's been consistent, 9 games running. Like
so you concede the chances and he saves you. You got it. I got you.
Yeah.
So he's
part of the defense.
He's part of the defense. But well, you can't say the same about the other.
Allison. I'm saying the same thing about Allison, right? How many times has Allison saved Liverpool this season?
Yeah, a lot of games.
A lot of games.
So why do people refuse to give you credit, though? Why?
Because we're Tottenham. That's the only reason.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay, so because we consistently over the past 20 years have
I'm
been
watching the freaking
around.
Premier League for 20 years. Yes, you became relevant lately, but what? Arsenal haven't won the league for 20 years.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm. It's this whole history. Like everybody's history teachers as football fans. They're history teachers and optologists, right? Everybody's talking about the eye test and history, and that's all. That's what everybody are. I'm not. I'm an American. I don't view things that way. I look at more recent times because, as it is here in the United States with American sports, franchise sports or whatever, just because the Cowboys had a lot of history or whatever doesn't mean that they're a good football team now.
Every team from Houston, apart from the Astros, are called bottlers, like the Texans, everybody. You know that.
Well, yeah, I mean Houston, of course.
The Rockets. Like,
well, no, I mean, like I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, right? That's my hometown. So you got St. Louis
American
Cardinals.
things, people. So you go ahead.
Yeah, you got St. Louis Cardinals, and they're like what, the second greatest team of all time, second most World Series ever won, right? But they didn't even qualify. They were in like last place in their division this year. Like just because you have this history doesn't mean you're going to be good this year. And it's the same thing with football. But people just don't live in that present tense reality that this is an independent season, that it isn't based on anything other than do you have the same manager and do you have the same players? That's the only consistent from last season to this season. Once that season starts for the first time, it's a brand new season. It's anybody's game. And right now, it's our game. It's our game right now.
Mina's asking a question. Mina, it was one of our members. He was here last night with us.
Yeah,
guys, hit that like button. Get us to 50 likes. It's slow building, but get us to 50 likes so we can get more people here. Mina saying, do you think Pochettino will get a good reception at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
He better not. I brought this up on my show.
Why not?
Why not? Because he's playing for the enemy.
He's the one who made you relevant.
Yeah, but we can give him a clapping after the game when we beat them. But I don't want to see any Spurs fans clapping or cheering for Mauricio Pochettino before the game because we're supposed to we need to have a cutthroat attitude.
Nah,
we shouldn't be out there. Yeah,
when
100%.
Mourinho is Roma and he goes to Inter gives him a
but he won things at Inter. Poch didn't win anything here.
He made you relevant. By the way, you have to understand.
No, Redknapp made us relevant for the first
time. He did. Globally, he did made you relevant with the Champions League stuff. Yeah, I can say in that 09, the 010 run, the 08 when you reach a quarterfinal, if I'm not mistaken, 12 to 2012. as well. But to be honest, it's all about Pochettino is the one that consistently put you up there at the table. You were not a top 16
No,
before.
100%. Yeah.
So
I mean,
he deserves. You weren't.
We were top 16 before Poch under Redknapp for that 5-year period under Redknapp.
It was called
Absolutely.
the Everton Cup, my friend. The sixth place, it was called the Everton Cup. You know that. You know
the Everton Cup.
It was. Google that. You know that sixth place was called the Everton Cup. It was actually the team that gets sixth. It was called the Everton Cup. Until Man City came to the picture, and they're like, yeah, sixth place, and then Spurs as well. But it was called Everton Cup at that time. But anyway,
I think we've only finished outside, like this season when we finished 8th was the first time we'd finished that low in 15 years. 15 years was the first time we finished 8th.
Yeah, 15 years from 2010. Pochettino took over 2014. So yeah.
Yeah. But that's the 4 years.
Anyway, so you're saying it's a new team, new season. Do you believe you can win the title for real? Like as a Spurs fan, do you believe
it's going to be tough?
It's tough, but do you believe you can? Seriously.
Like if a fairy comes down and blesses every single player.
No, I don't want that talk.
Yeah.
Do you believe on the pitch you can win the title?
I don't think we have the depth right now to win the league.
So you echo everything that everybody says, but you don't like it when they bend.
I think we have the depth in the players to finish third. I don't think that we have. I think right now,
above Arsenal.
Yeah, above Arsenal.
This is it. This is all right. But 100%. Arsenal are going to be title contenders.
No, Arsenal won't be title contenders.
No, you don't believe that.
Don't believe it. I think it is I think they're regressing to their mean. They over the past in the past decade have been a 4th and 5th place and 8th place team. Last year was an anomaly. They overpunched. They punched above their weight. They don't have a world-class manager. They don't have any world-class players. They overperformed, and their hype that they're getting this year is only based on their ancient history. And that's it.
But the team was good last year. They didn't regress
Xhaka
that
was good
much.
last year.
Xhaka, you're saying what I say, which is you're telling me that Xhaka was the one who helped them.
Yeah, Xhaka, because look at Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli's numbers in the first 10 games of last season. By this time last season, they already had multiple assists, multiple goals, and right now they're struggling.
Saka's still putting in numbers.
Yeah, but half of his goals have come from penalties, right? He's only got 2 goals from open play, right? Odegaard's only got 1 goal from open play. Havertz got the other penalty goal that they have in their 5 penalties.
When do you think? Yeah, when do you think When do you think the drop off for Spurs will happen?
I think December is going to be the biggest test of the year
because of the games you're going to play.
Yeah, we got to go to Newcastle. We got to play Newcastle, Villa, Brighton, City. The City game worries me this year because of how open we're playing.
Yeah,
and I mean we'll have to see. Right, we hung with Arsenal. I think we played better than Arsenal on the day when we played them. Arsenal played well, was able to hold City back. You know, what is Pep going to do? You know, we're already in Pep's head every single time. He's already mentioned it in press conferences. He's like, because they asked him about Postecoglou, because I don't know if people know this or not, but the club in Japan that Postecoglou worked for is in the City group. So they had met each other before. They asked Pep Guardiola. He said he's a great manager. He knew he was going to end up in the Premier League at some point. Yada yada yada. And he's like, you know, maybe this year we can score in their stadium. And that were Pep's comments. So he's already in Pep's head. It's going to be tough. But if we get through, look, if it come January, come that break, if we're still in and around, if we're still 2 to 5 points away from first, I would say we have a chance for second. But City is just a giant, man.
The City don't look the same, do they?
No, they don't.
Let's shift a little bit.
100%, yeah. No,
so they don't look the same. And is that only, as every season people say, let's shift a little bit from Spurs and talk about the others.
Yeah.
Is that, so this talk has been every year, and I said it last year in the beginning of the season, I believe it. They didn't look the same as the year before. Haaland was scoring a lot of goals, but everybody else wasn't, and they were conceding more goals. Now, this year, their creativity, you can absolutely look at the stats. You can look at the game with your eyes. They're not creating enough chances. They're not penetrating teams like before. So why are you guys scared? Why? Why is everybody that I talk to
because we as fans,
not you as Spurs, everyone, by the way, Arsenal, everybody.
I don't know why Arsenal and Liverpool fans are scared. If I was a Liverpool fan right now, I wouldn't be, with the way that the attacking, threat that they have. I mean, what other team in the league has as much quality in their front three as Liverpool's depth-wise? You got Jota, Darwin Núñez, which I don't really rate that highly, but Diaz, Darwin Núñez is better than Richarlison. Diaz, Salah, that's a lot of depth, right? Arsenal's front three is, bar Martinelli, who I think had a one-off season last year. I think it was a little bit of a one-season wonder. You got Saka on the right. Gabriel Jesus is never going to score more than 10 goals in a season, so they don't have it. City's got Haaland and Alvarez, but right now nobody else really in their front three is performing. You see the drop-off pretty clearly from Mahrez last season. That firepower that Liverpool has, for me, if I was a Liverpool fan, that's what I would be confident about, right? I wouldn't really even be moaning about my midfield right now, because as long as we can score enough goals and Van Dijk and Alisson can pull us out of a bind every now and again, we'll be up there. We'll be all right.
Yeah. Listen, so I'm gonna talk. This is very relevant. Thank you for the super chats. Appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button for me if you just joined. Thank you so much for everybody that joined us. Get the likes up. Big up, guys. Mo, thoughts on Doku in City system. Let me just establish something. Doku proved to us why Jack Grealish was not productive last year. Doku drives at people, very active, gets the ball, terrorizes defenses. I like that in a winger. You can have the winger that keeps the ball, yes, but that means the midfield has to create a lot. And at the moment, Julian Alvarez is putting the ball in the back of the net. He isn't creating.
Yeah.
Right? Phil Foden is coming inside, ball position, you know what I mean? Ball retention, him with Rodri, with Julian Alvarez, with Kovacic, whoever is playing. So you need someone to terrorize the defense. It was Kevin De Bruyne last year. It was Riyad Mahrez last year. And I mean, it was even Gundogan with late runs. Now you don't have that. What does Doku do? Adds a different element of attacking element. Like, as a fullback and as a center back on that side, you'll have to worry about him. You're like, every time he gets the ball, you're worried. What is he going to do? Is he going to drive to the line? Is he going to cut inside? That's what Jack Grealish didn't have. Jack Grealish was a system player. Like, get the ball, drag a couple of players to you, pass it, or get a free kick. Done. Overdone. But the defender didn't have to think about what Jack Grealish is going to do. He knows that Jack Grealish is going to pass it back or try to draw a free kick. Doku has 2-3 ways of going at you, going to the line, cutting inside. That's why I think Doku might be the end of Jack Grealish's career at Manchester City. I believe
it could be. And look, he may end up eventually playing like at Spurs, like he was should have been there already years ago. I think he would fit in the system. I see him as like a possible alternate with Maddison. Somebody who can fill into that Maddison role, can also help on the left-hand side. I think he would benefit this system over a Manchester City system, because we don't play as direct, right? It's more of pass, run fast. We have a little bit faster pace, I think, than City does in our build-up, which is what
people
Jack
think
Grealish
I have
is
an
good at
agenda against Jack Grealish. Like, seriously, they think like I do. Like, listen, Jack Grealish at Aston Villa
was amazing.
Was fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic. Why? Freedom. Go on. And that's Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is one of these guys like Maddison today, by the way. He had like 3-4 missed passes, right? But when the moment comes, he delivers.
Yeah, boom.
That's Kevin De Bruyne, by the way, does this. Kevin De Bruyne sometimes passes the wrong pass. But when the moment comes, Kevin De Bruyne gives you that. He gives you the juice. You know what I mean? He gives you the end product. That's my point. Jack Grealish is, don't give me instructions. Don't give me this, don't give me that. Jack Grealish is limited. He was limited last year at Manchester City. And I only watch football with my eyes at the end. I am not in the dressing room. I don't know what Pep told him. People tell me, Mo, it's instructions. Well, I'm not there. I only comment on what I see.
And that's why I think he would do really good under Postecoglou, because Postecoglou plays more free. He gives the players the freedom to go out and play.
You know, if he plays left wing, he would be amazing for you.
Yeah, I know. Midfield. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Freedom. Go at defenders. Do your thing.
Yeah. dribble the ball, put the ball in the box, find Son's
Even if you
feet.
make a mistake, yes.
Yeah, I think Jack Grealish would be a freaking steal if we could pick him up.
But I don't think they would sell him to you. He's a sweetheart. Like, look at Letit. Is the people love him for some reason. People love him for that reason.
They like how he wears his shin pads.
Another thing is that Martin is asking, what's up with Kulusevski? I thought he was all right today. He created a clear-cut chance that should have been a goal.
Yeah, he does that a lot. Like, he'll get these good chances. But the thing for me is, I don't know if you watched, but there were several times in the first half where he really slows down our transition.
Yes.
And he diddle-daddles on the ball for too long. Like, there was even one in the end there when Alvarez, or not Alvarez, but Vlejes, or whatever, how you say his name, the young 18-year-old Argentinian striker that we just signed.
I've never seen this guy before, by the way.
Yeah, Veliz. Sorry, his name's Veliz. Yeah. And he's big. Like, he's bigger than Mickey van der Ven size-wise.
Nah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 18-year-old Argentinian. Yeah, so he came in. And Kulusevski's should have played a ball to him first time, and he would have been in on goal. But because he diddle-daddled, took another 2 steps, he plays the ball, now he's offsides, right? Like, those types of things, Kulu really, he takes too long to make the decision, which I don't think that when he first came to Tottenham, he was playing under, I can't remember if I said this on your channel or another channel, but I've said this before. When he first came to Tottenham, he was new, he was young, he was excited. I think he wanted to impress. So when you kind of have that angst, the anticipation, you tend to do things faster, right? Just because you want to make an impact, you want to make an impression, you want to prove yourself. But once he kind of became that guy on the right under Conte, now he's being a little bit selfish. He's taking too long on the ball. He's passing when he should shoot. He's shooting when he should pass. Like, he's just making wrong decisions in the final third. If he could fix that out of his game, there is a player in there. He's just not clicking right now mentally for me. He needs someone behind him to challenge him, to push him, right? This spot's mine if you don't get your act together. And right now he doesn't have it.
Because of the Son with that finish.
That's Son all the time. People don't realize this, and I'm gonna say it again. And I always get a lot of crap for this. I think it's absolutely insulting to Son that he's not in the Eden Hazard left wing, all-time left winger in the Premier League this past decade. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about ability. I'm talking about ability. There is not a better finisher in the world. When you're talking about goals to shots on target, for every shot on target he puts, the amount that he converts, there is no one better in the world.
In the world, you're saying
in the world,
the best finisher in the world,
most clinical finisher in the world.
He's very clinical. When Son gets the chance, he finishes.
One shot, one goal.
So, I wanna go back to the other teams, because I know you want to talk about Spurs, and I know that you want to talk about Spurs all day. But
I can talk about anybody all day. We'll go.
Yeah, but I want to move on. Like, I want to talk about the others. Like, we spoke about Manchester City. We spoke about how they can turn it on. Pep Guardiola will find a way. We'll make a system that will work. I have full trust on.
Yeah.
And because everybody else isn't fantastic this year, and I believe that there's going to be 8 games very tough for every team away from home, I think they can afford to lose 2 games, Manchester City, in the first 9 games, and still be all right to fix the system later and go on a 10-game run. But Liverpool and Arsenal, where are they in the equation? Like, in your opinion, I know your opinion about Arsenal, but Liverpool, where are they in this equation? Like, no DM, have problems defensively, not against Everton, but against other teams. They're relying so much on going forward. Mohamed Salah will go to the AFCON. He'll miss a couple of games. Where are they in the equation for you?
Yeah, I don't know who they play during that AFCON break. So, I mean, that kind of depends on how big of it's hurt. I mean, you tell me, I mean, you're Egyptian. How far does Egypt usually go in that competition? Do you guys tend to make it to
the finals?
Semi-finals, yeah. So he'll be gone. He'll probably miss the majority of games then, which I think is like 2 or 3 games is all that people are going to miss anyway. But
yeah, because there's 2 weeks rest.
Yeah, 2-week break in the winter break. Yeah. But yeah, I think for me, Liverpool right now, they just look like the ones that are playing the football necessary to beat more teams than they're going to draw and or lose against. And I don't like, you know, when they played us, they're the team that's given us the biggest run for our money. I was more nervous playing Liverpool than I was playing Arsenal. I was more nervous playing Liverpool at home than I was playing Arsenal away. I thought we had a better chance of winning at Arsenal than I did at home against Liverpool.
Mohamed Salah will miss, just to let you know, he'll miss Bournemouth away if he goes. He will miss for sure Chelsea at home.
That's gonna
And
be
he
tough.
will, if they go a little bit further, Egypt, a week, which is I think quarterfinals, he will miss the Arsenal game away from home.
We just got to be back for that one, Mo.
It's February 3rd.
Get him back for that one, Mo.
The tournament finished February 11th. I need Mohamed Salah to win the AFCON.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest, because he has to win the AFCON. Because otherwise, what did he do for the national team? They went to the World Cup. Fine, win the freaking AFCON.
Yeah.
To be one of the greatest African players ever. Come on, inshallah.
But yeah, I'm look, for me, I think Arsenal are toothless. I really do. I don't see Arsenal do not scare me whatsoever. Their defense, I mean, you saw Chelsea, you know, completely just dismantle their defense. We dismantled their defense. You know, the only times that they've clipped,
but there's only one. There is only one. Do you think? So let me ask you something. Do you think if they play Aston Villa away from home, what is going to happen?
They'll lose. I think they'll lose.
They'll lose.
Yeah.
But what
I
if
think Aston Villa at home beats Arsenal? I think Brighton at home beats Arsenal.
What about you then?
I think we'll beat Arsenal at home too.
No. I mean, if you play Aston Villa away from home.
Yeah, it's gonna be that's the one we could lose. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. They're the tricky ones. They're the ones you can't predict, right? Because you could end up smashing them 3-0 or you could get beat 5-1. Right? Like those fixtures are so tough.
Yeah.
You know.
So you agree with me that even Manchester City going away to Brighton, going away to Aston Villa, it's not an easy game.
Not an easy game. Newcastle away is not an easy game.
Yeah, I know Newcastle. So I want a little bit. Yeah, so Newcastle, you mentioned Newcastle because I keep getting there's someone that watches the channel all the time, a couple of Newcastle fans, and they always text and they always comment, and they say people are sleeping on Newcastle. They are 5 points, if I'm not mistaken, behind the top. No, they're not 5 points. Now they are 7 points. They are only 4 points away from Liverpool. They had the toughest start. And they are scoring abundance of goals. I think they have the strongest attack in the league, and they have only 9 goals against them. Do you believe they can catch up to these guys, like to Arsenal, to Manchester City, to Liverpool?
Yeah, I think anybody. I think Brighton, Newcastle, and Aston Villa, those three right there in those 5, 6, and 7 spots are really going to be, you know, the bogeys. You know, they're going to be the ones that are going to come and start, you know, affecting that table the most. I have Newcastle even possibly finishing above Arsenal if things go well for them. So Arsenal for me is a 4th or 5th, one of those spots. And that really depends on Newcastle's run and what business Newcastle does in January. We'll have to wait and see. I think right now Arsenal are clear of Newcastle, but just. Right. So kind of like, I think it'll come down to a season for Arsenal and Newcastle like it was 2 years ago for Tottenham and Arsenal, where it goes down to the last couple of weeks of the season and Arsenal maybe end up finishing 3 or 4 points over Newcastle.
Yeah, but so someone, Jonathan here, one of the guys, big up Jonathan, of course, from Australia, of course. Jonathan, big Ange fan, of course, is an Inter fan. The answer to this Tonali absent is that we are at the end of October. If they can hang on and they buy another midfielder in January, they'll be all right, though.
Yeah, and they didn't have Tonali last year, and they were still pounding teams.
Yeah, they were all right, though. They were absolutely all right. Like
MLS Amaron coming.
I actually think Tonali is an overrated player. Anyway, being an Inter fan, of course, I think Tonali is an overrated player. He's a good player. He isn't a fantastic player. Like, I think Longstaff can do a job there, and he is doing a job. Joe Linton can do the job. Joe Willock will be back for them. But remember, this team has 2 players in every position.
Yeah,
they do. So this team has depth. Now that's Champions League, not Champions League. I actually think that Newcastle will catch up. They will literally catch up. And I'm telling you here, listen, you heard it here first. Newcastle will catch up to the top. They won't win the title. They
top?
might not. The top.
Wow.
They will catch up to be in the mix. Soon enough, you'll see Newcastle in the mix of third, fourth, 3 points behind the top. And people will say, oh, suddenly you popped up. Because they're going to play Arsenal at home soon. People forget that. They are at the moment 4 points behind Arsenal. 5 points. If they win that game, they are 2 points only behind Arsenal. I think Newcastle will win games at home. If they can beat PSG, they can beat anybody, to be honest, at home. Even though you tell me PSG are overrated, but just the hype. But that's, like, for me, that's Newcastle are going to be there and there. But like people, I said Newcastle finished 4th, actually. I actually had you 7th because I didn't know anything about Ange.
Yeah. A lot of people did. I had us, I think, finishing 6th. I think that was my pre-season prediction.
Actually said if Harry Kane leaves, you'll finish 9th.
Yeah, I wasn't too bothered by the Harry Kane leaving, to be honest with you. I'm like, well, I'm out there on an island by myself. There's maybe 1 or 2 others that weren't that didn't think that was a bad idea. But
no,
I mean,
I think you're mistaken. I think if Harry Kane is here now,
you could be right. I just don't think we have. Look, I think it's the curse of Harry Kane. I think there's a curse on there. You see, Bayern's not getting results, even though Harry Kane's scoring. Right? He's got what, 9 goals, 5 assists over there, and there's.
I don't believe in these things, but fine. I don't.
I don't
believe in these things. I really don't. I don't believe there's a curse. I don't believe in that. I think Harry Kane with James Maddison and Son and Kulusevski, you would have been lethal. Spurs would have been way more lethal.
I think there is a what I don't believe in necessarily curses, but what I do believe in is mentalities. And so when you have Harry Kane, who the whole entire, everybody who's come into the club over the last 8 years knows he's the man, and the whole system, the whole game plan is just get the ball to Harry, get the ball to Harry, get the ball to Harry. You tend to not push as hard as when now you're a guy, you're a focus, you're part of the the deal, the system. Yeah. And so I think that's adding a psychological benefit that wouldn't have been here if Harry was here. I'm not saying we wouldn't have still played good football or not scored a whole lot of goals. I think we would have. I don't think there would have been as close knit of a brotherhood, right? Because as long as Son's been here and as good as Son's been over the years, I mean, he's Son. He's the likable, smileable, always putting other people in front of himself, Son. So he doesn't have that I'm the guy. Like Harry Kane, basically ostracizing Lucas Moura during the Champions League final and pushing him out of the squad because he had to play, right? Those types of things Son would never do, right?
Yeah. Welcome everybody that joined from Staffy's channel. Of course, big up Staffy. Welcome everybody. Hit that like button if you just came in. We're not staying for long, but yeah, we got like 10, 12 minutes left. Let's talk about the Champions League. I know you're not in the Champions League, but I wanted to talk to you about the Champions League. Manchester United and Arsenal, Newcastle, and Manchester City. The first question is, do you believe Manchester City can actually retain the Champions League?
Yeah, I mean, for me right now, the big players in that one are Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea and City for me, right? Harry Kane in the Champions League is gonna cause problems for people. And then I think Manchester City's Manchester City, and I think Manchester City's not as strong as they were last year, so they're going to struggle a little bit more.
They have the experience now.
They got the experience.
No, they had the experience of last year.
Yeah, and then you've got I think for me Real Madrid. They're always a player. They're always going to be up in there. And then the two Milans, they
Barcelona. How about Barcelona? Like you don't think Barcelona can win it?
No. I don't think Barcelona's as strong in Europe as they used to be. I know that they still compete with Real Madrid in the league and stuff like that, but I just think it's because Real Madrid's a lot more focused on the. I just don't see Barcelona with as much star power as Real Madrid's got right now.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know, but I still think that Inter are up there. We have the depth, we have everything. Real Madrid, with no striker, I think this is gonna hurt them big time. They literally have no striker. Hisulu isn't good enough. I think Manchester City. How about Listen, how about Arsenal? Seriously, genuinely, why did Arsenal fans think that they are? And I want you to take the Spurs hat off and think about it. Arsenal were second last year.
Mhm.
They play okay. They have really good players. Odegaard is a good player. Saka, Martinelli, Declan Rice, Saliba, of course. How far can they go, especially if they top their group, which is you top your group, you get a favorable draw in the next round. How far can this team go?
I mean, if they top their group, I would say maybe quarterfinals, just depending on who they get in the draw. If they get an easy draw, that's about it for me.
That's it. Quarterfinal for them. This is it.
Round of 16, quarterfinals. If they don't top their group,
yeah, if they don't top their group, you get someone like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. I don't think they can pass that.
yeah.
In my opinion, even though they think they
And then
can.
right now, I mean, they're kind of barely. If they don't win, what, Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever we're playing this week,
Tomorrow,
yeah, they won't even. They'll be like third in the
if
group.
they
So.
don't beat Sevilla away, I think that might be a tricky part for them, unless they go and win the last 4 games. Big up, Brazy. Big up for the super chat. Welcome to Staffy TV Agenda. Big up to the judge. Thank you so much. Oh, look, Will is here. Hussam just arrived.
That's right, Hussam.
Hussam just arrived out. It's the whole stream. Hussam is just talking about what you said on your stream, to be honest. Not really.
Yeah, I was just saying, I told Hussam in a super chat earlier that he's got to keep making those predictions. I want him to, because every prediction he's made, the exact opposites happen. So he's been our 12th man this season.
That's why he's last in the Al Ahwa ranking. There is a reason why he's last. Well, yeah. Yeah, like, listen, this jammy thing. Jammy thing. But I want to talk about
I don't know how a 2-0 win is jammy, but...
because you won with mistakes. But anyway, listen, you can talk to him about it. It's not me.
We need to have that chat, though. We need to have that chat.
Okay, so we can have a Will vs. Hussam here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Because somehow, and I don't wanna move into this. Somehow, Mo is first because he always plays it safe. Mr. 2-1. Well, it's ball knowledge, my friend. It's not safe. It's called ball knowledge.
But playing it safe, you said you predicted we were going to lose to Fulham at home.
Sam says I predicted safe. I'm the only one probably that predicted Chelsea win against Arsenal. And he says, everybody in the world said, easy.
I predicted a draw. So I picked a 1-1 draw.
So you predicted the right one, but to call Mo to play it safe when I predicted Chelsea to win? Come on. I actually predicted 2-2. Yeah, safe for you, Osam. Thank you, everybody that joined us. Make sure to hit that like button. We're only in 50 likes and we have 115 people here. So hit the like button. Give me to 100 likes. Give me to 100 likes. Get involved. Arsenal in the Champions League, only quarterfinals. Well, favorable draw. I think they can go far. However, I think Arsenal lack experience in the Champions League. This is my opinion. The reason why I say that is that Inter had to get out of the group stage multiple times. And then we had to go to the round of 16, get beat by Liverpool, even being the better team, right? But the experience. Until the year after, we go to the final. Arsenal think because we're doing good in the league, you're doing good in the league, you're not winning in the league. If you're doing, I'm one of the guys that believe if you're doing well in the league, you do well in the Champions League, but you'll have to do well in the league, but win it. Not do well in the league and be second. Does that make sense? Win your league and you might become, you go far in the Champions League. But Arsenal, for me, listen, like that Lens game proved everything that I said. You go away from home, these teams don't respect you. They don't. Lens did not respect Arsenal. They didn't sit deep. They had a high line as well. They didn't press Arsenal very high because Arsenal are not Manchester United. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have more trophies in Europe than they do, right? So, we're little Tottenham.
I'm not dissing Arsenal, but Arsenal fans thought that they're going to walk Europe, and we'll see tomorrow against Sevilla. Listen, I can be proven wrong tomorrow. If they play Sevilla and they win away from home against Sevilla, I'm going to raise my hand and say I'm wrong.
Okay. I think the team has a little bit too. I think if they would have come into it with a mentality like Newcastle's had, right? We're just here and we're going to give it our best.
Newcastle defended the whole game against Milan.
Yeah.
Like the whole game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if they would have come in and shown the respect and said, "Look, we're here. We deserve to be here based on what we did in the league, but we know that we're not normally here," and came at it with that kind of an attitude, I think that they would probably have a better chance. Because I think if Arsenal were in Newcastle's group, I don't even think they get out of that group. I think they'll be playing in the Europa League.
Yeah,
this is my opinion.
Like if Arsenal goes to Europa League, I think that'd be funny. I think that would be funny, to be honest. I think that look, if Arsenal and Manchester United go to Europa League to play with Liverpool, I think that would be hilarious. Just for the fun, for the comedy show, that would be just
I would
comedy.
Love it. That would be a Spurs fan.
Like I'm not talking banter here. I'm not talking anything. I'm just talking comedy show. Like if Chelsea get relegated from the Premier League, I'm like, you're spending $1 billion and you freaking get relegated. Another super chat from 689. Thank you so much. Mo, you think who is Sam's TM have a chance this season? I'm not getting the question. Are you getting the question?
No, I mean he's trying to save the extra $4.99 to throw it in.
Yeah, so listen, I appreciate your super chat. Can you type the question in normal? like I know you're trying to save it, but yeah, I appreciate the support for the channel and everything. Type the question so I can actually see it. So I can put it on the screen, because I'm not understanding it. Sam's tomorrow have a chance this season. Sam's TM. I'm not getting it. But
so do you think Husam's team have a chance this season?
Husam's team, like Liverpool. Yes. If that's what he means. 100%. Husam's team. All right. All right. Yes, 100%. And why it's Husam's team? Husam owns Liverpool now. All right.
And just so you know, HUSAM is less letters than WHOSAM''S.
So you could have had Hussam team. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, 689. So the answer to the question is that I've been very consistent about this. Liverpool can hang in around the top until January. And if they go, and after the Paulinho I saw today, by the way, if this Paulinho plays for Liverpool,
great player.
Liverpool are without a shadow of a doubt the closest to Man City, if not even better than Man City to win the title. And I said it here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Bro, the crunching tackles, the reading of the game, and also people, because he tackles really well, people forget that he can pass the ball. He literally switches the play to William many times. You remember to Dover Reed on the right side? He does that, but people forget that, because you remember when a player is very rough and tough in the tackles, you remove everything else from your eyes and you only watch the tackles.
Yeah.
Paulinho is a good football player.
Yeah.
He's a good football player. So to answer the question, 689, yes, they can win the league 100%.
Yeah, I think that's what's so funny. Sam's out there going around all of the internet and Twitter, and just cussing Spurs left and right. And I say that his team is the one that I think has the best chance. So
I think Hussam is butthurt by that guy. Because I know Hussam now for a year or so, or more than a year. I don't think he hated Spurs that much, by the way. He didn't care about Spurs. He didn't care about Spurs. But that, I think Hussam is butthurt because what happened in the game, which is not your fault, but it was freaking, not my fault. It was a terrible mistake from the referees, right? But I actually think that, because if you're not worried, like for me in Italy, if Sassuolo's top of the league after 8 games, who gives a shit? I'm not winning the league, you know what I mean? If I don't care about him, but if Roma are top of the league and I keep talking about them, I'm worried. You know what I mean? I'm worried about them. I think that's my explanation. He can come and say something else.
100%.
I don't speak on his behalf. Hussam is his own man.
Of course, yeah.
But this is how I understood. Like, he's coming across like, it's jammy. It's jammy.
Yeah, it's getting
I'm like, it's not Manchester United, bro. This is Tottenham Hotspur that you've never seen lift a trophy in your life.
Yeah,
Who
he's
cares
getting
if
he's
they win
getting
against Fulham?
a little bit cringe, right? It started off kind of funny, you know, and now it's getting a little bit cringe. It's
Like,
and it
who
was so
gives a
funny.
fuck if they fucking win the game?
Yeah. No,
Like,
it's
it's like the little horse is leading the race and we're still in the first 10 meters. Who gives a shit? Let them lead.
yeah.
But yeah, this is what my understanding of what the point. Brazy here with another super chat. Thank you for the super chat. It's like, Mo, quick prediction against our Jesus, freaking prediction for freaking Inter and shit like this.
But big up Assam. I love Assam. He's always great.
Yes, of course. From Salzburg, I think Inter will win against Salzburg. Will win against Salzburg tomorrow. We're a better team. They're no match to Inter, and if Inter lose, it's a surprise. It's absolutely a very big surprise. I don't think we will lose against them. I think Inter will win against them. But keep the questions coming, people. I'm loving this. It's and I know I don't think we'll watch any game of Inter this year, so he has no idea who plays for Inter this year. So
No,
we
I
only
haven't
watch the
watched any
Milan.
Inter games this season.
Yeah, I know. So I'm not giving you any.
I do watch some Milan because of the
Americans.
Americans, yeah. But
I don't
not
watch
so much
Milan because of the Americans.
because of the Americans. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
those Americans are flying, bro.
I don't support the American national team. Believe it or
I
not.
do. I'm a huge USMNT
I'm not
fan.
like the US men's national team. I'm like, I don't get, because I actually believe that the system, and that's for another day. I believe that the system
garbage.
needs an
Yeah.
overhaul. The whole
100%.
American system of football needs an
100%.
overhaul. And
Pay to
it's,
play system for
how
youth
can we
football is
be
horrible.
300 million? And I said I just became American 2 months ago.
Yeah.
How can we be 300 million and we cannot get 11 players to play good football?
I think we have 11 players that can play good football now.
No.
We will never, as long as Greg Berhalter's manager, we will never have a good team.
It's not about the money, it's about the system. It's about college football. It's about college soccer. We'll talk about it another day.
Yeah.
Another super chat here from 689 is saying, you don't think that defense is shambolic? I'm gonna let Will answer that about
Liverpool, I think they have sketchy periods, but no, I mean, I don't think obviously Robertson's injured now, right? You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold just got back, who's never been a super strong defender, but I don't think he's ever really been a bad defender. I think he catches a bad rap. Probably that's not well deserved. You got Van Dijk, maybe lost a few yards of pace in his old age. You got Matip and Konate. I'd take them over any of our backups any day. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take them over any of our starting two right now, but is the backups all day. So I think their defense isn't as. I'd take Allison in a heartbeat. I think he's the best keeper in the world right now for me. Because he's the only one that's consistently up there, even statistically, in the top 2 or 3 year in, year out, right? You might have a Jose Salah that pops in there and gets into the conversation, and then he fades off. And then Raya is in there, and then he fades off. But the only consistent keeper who is right there season after season is Allison, in my opinion. So I don't think they have a bad.
The fact that you said Jose Sa and Raya in the same sentence as Allison is kind of like, it hurts.
I was talking about statistically, right? Because there was 1 or 2 seasons where Jose Sa was up there, like highest, save percentage and all those things. I think Jose Sa is a great goalkeeper.
He's all right, bro.
I think he's better than Raya.
Jose Sa, the Wolves guy.
Yeah.
Nah,
you put Jose Sa in any of those top 4 teams, and he is Allison Ederson level, in my opinion.
People, you're asking me about Brazy. You're asking me about a beef, Gio Reyna's parents. I promise you, I read the headlines. I actually have no idea what the story is. And when I go play football with the guys here, some of them talk about it. I'm on the side.
I know about it, so I'm a huge USMNT guy.
I am not interested at all, and I'm not gonna go into the beef between a player's parent and somebody else. But listen. If there's no more super chats, I think we're gonna end it here. If you want to send the last chance to send a super chat, if you want to have a question. If not, we'll just end it here. Tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon, UK time. That's 7 o'clock Central Time. I'm gonna do a show before I freaking hit the freaking shit work. So I'm gonna do a show, and then we're gonna do a reaction later for the Arsenal and Manchester United game. Thank you for everybody that watched. Can you get the likes up a little bit to 100 likes? Guys, the like button is underneath your live chat. I don't need to tell you to like the freaking video when you come here to this channel. Hit that like button. Get us to 100 likes because that's the only way the channel is going to grow. The like button is underneath your live chat. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Hit that like button. Someone just dislike the video just for the sake of it. So hit that like button, people. Thank you all for joining. Congratulations on being top of the table and for the win today.
2
Good
points
clean
clear.
sheets.
We're up there all by ourselves now. Arsenal fans can't say they're top joint with us
Join
anymore.
top. Yeah, thank you, everyone. No team does well in the Champions League if they don't do well in the league. That's about Inter last year. Another super chat. Actually, the time we did well in the Champions League, I said you can do well in that. Just to answer that, if you do well in your league, you will definitely do well in the Champions League. Okay, if you win the league, other than Barcelona because they were knocked out early in the Champions League. But doing well in the Champions League does not mean that you're going to win the league. Does that make sense? This is my opinion. Who's
we got to the
best,
final and finished fourth, right? So.
Yeah, who's the best player in the world right now? Mark Dunning. Right now.
So, like somebody not playing in a retirement league?
No, of course not Messi. You're not going to say Messi, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, he's not the best player right
now. Not the best player at the moment. I believe that the best player in the world right now is Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, I would say best player, overall player, Mbappe for sure.
For me, it's Kylian Mbappe who's the best player. However, I feel the most important player in the world right now that might change teams, might change any team he goes to, is Rodri.
Yeah, Rodri. I think there's.
I believe it might be not the best player in terms of output and scoring, but you get 1 point, right? Like if he goes to any team, it'll change the team.
There's a bit of an asterisk for me over on Mbappe's name because like I see it with my eyes and I acknowledge that, but it's the fact that he's played in France his whole entire career, and I'd like to see him do it in a league that actually matters. So,
okay, will you have the same energy if I told you that Cristiano Ronaldo was on top of the world at Manchester United, went to Real Madrid, was on top of the world, left Real Madrid, went to Juventus, won leagues at Juventus, got top scorer as well, and then left to go to a new challenge. But Messi was very comfortable in Barcelona and never left to try a new challenge.
It's not about trying a new challenge. It's not about trying a new challenge. It's the fact that La Liga is actually a league that I respect. I think the French league is just is close to, for me, Portugal, France. Those two leagues are about even for me. And so
actually, I actually think Portugal is more
I agree. I think it's
way
more competitive. Yeah, overall from top to bottom of the table, I think Portugal is more competitive in my opinion. But so that's what I'm talking about. I want to see if Mbappe, because we can see Mbappe doing it on the Champions League stage, but even then he's not been able to get over the line. I want to see him do it week in, week out in a league that actually is relevant.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. But thank you, everybody.
I hope he goes to Madrid.
I hope he goes to Madrid to see what he does there. Thank you, everybody that watched us. Thank you, everybody that sent a super chat in. You get a big shout out to everybody that sent it, starting from Madeline Haas, Mina Sidhom, 689, Brazy, and Mark Dunning, and 689 again, Brazy again. Thank you so much. You guys support the channel. We really appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll see you guys soon. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like the video before you go. And we're out of here. Thank you, Will.
Peace.